it's hard to not use the apps and
make any sort of progress.
Any sort of progress. I mean, I think everyone wants to meet someone organically, through their friends, through however. But I think like if you're not using the apps, if you want to actually date seriously, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. It's tough. I think it's tough for anyone right now. I don't think anyone enjoys being on the apps. Every person is like, my goal this year is to delete this app. Like no one wants to be on it. It's a necessary evil. Ready? Feel good?
I guess, yeah. Where'd you go to school?
For college? I went to College of Worcester in Worcester, Ohio, middle of nowhere.
Oh my God.
And then I went to Brown for grad school for a year. Yeah, so I was in Providence for a year going to school.
Wait, that's insane. So what did you study then?
In undergrad, I studied political science, and I studied public policy for grad school, yeah.
At Brown?
At Brown, yes.
That's impressive.
Thank you, I appreciate it. What about you? What about yourself?
So I am from New Jersey originally. I was applying for this. And then I came out here to go to Pitt, which is where I did my undergrad. And my first degree is in emergency medicine. So I became a paramedic when I was a junior in college. And then I worked, and then 5 years went by. And this past year, I went back and did like an accelerated bachelor's for my nursing degree. And then I just started as a nurse, like in September.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
How has the transition been?
Okay, I guess.
As good as it can be?
It's very different, obviously. Like, I worked in EMS for so long, and I got so accustomed to that, and it's a completely different world. And then you leave, and then it's like, it was like I had to keep you alive for 30 minutes, right? And then after that, I don't know what happens to you, like, you're off. And then as a nurse, and I work in critical care, I'm in the ICU, and it's like I see you every day, you know, and it's like, how do we get to the finish line here of like some really, really sick people? So it's definitely really different. And you're also working with like tens, like times more people than you're working when you're out on an ambulance, where it's like you and your partner, and then, you know, if shit hits the fan, like you have to deal with it, right? Versus like when you're in the hospital and you can scream out in the hallway, be like, hey, I need some help in here.
Well, I love your tattoos.
Thank you.
How long have you had tattoos for?
Since I was 16.
16, early.
My mom took me to get my first one.
Really? That's hilarious. The day I turned 18, I got my first one.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, you can't control me anymore. I'm
really?
Just go do all this. I was like 18. I was at the mall. My mom was like, you can't get your ears pierced. I was like, I either get my ears pierced now or I'm gonna wait 2 weeks and I'm gonna get my ears pierced by myself. And I went and got my ears pierced then. And then I got my tattoo 2 weeks later. And
Well, at the mall.
Yeah, at the mall. Piercing pagoda, unfortunately.
How many do you have now?
5 or 6. So I have like both sides of my chest, one on my ribs, one on my shoulder, and then one on my arm.
Which one's your favorite?
I feel like the first one, right? Like the first time you get.
God, no, I do not share that.
Fair enough. The first one that I got was just like introduced me to like, okay, I can withstand all of this pain for an outcome, and then I was like, okay.
Was it big?
No, it was just on my ribs, and I had no idea what to expect, and it was painful, but it was quick.
It was on your ribs?
Yeah.
My first one was also on my ribs.
How was that?
It was fine. I mean, it's small. Yeah. It's really stupid. It's not stupid. It's cute, but like it looks crazy now. So I'm like, oh, let's forget about that one.
How many tattoos do you have? I mean, sleeves.
I can't even. When people ask me that, I don't know, because I have the sleeve, and then I have a few here. Yeah. I got this one in when I was in Amsterdam. Okay. After the Heineken factory, me and my one friend, she got a ladybug.
Feeling really good, yeah.
And I got some stars, so that's probably my favorite one, just because of where I got it. Yeah. And then I got my little angel friend.
Cute.
I care. Yeah. His name is Josh.
Josh, nice to meet you.
Yeah. After the guy who tattooed me.
Very fun.
And like 3 other of my friends have the same one. We all got it together. Cool. Yeah, so it's like cute, it's fun. But I get that it's addicting.
Yeah, it is.
Once you start.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one in like 5 years, and I'm like itching.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So you must have just, when you started, you must have just like.
Yeah, I got one
gone
like
for it.
every time I went home on a break, I was getting a tattoo.
Same place or different places?
Different place. I think I got all of my tattoos in different places. I got, I guess, 4 in Pittsburgh and then 1 in Cleveland. By the guy that does LeBron James' tattoos. And
Oh, seriously?
Which was really cool. Yeah.
So what is it?
A note from my mom that she wrote me before my first college soccer game.
Oh my God.
Our coach had our parents write us letters before the first of each season. And so my first game, I didn't know what was happening, so I got a letter. And I was just distraught. I was bawling. I was
How
like,
are you supposed to play your game after that?
it was so emotional. And I just remembered like one passage from it, so I was like, okay, I want to get that done.
You know, there's chronically single people, and then there's
Yeah.
like chronic relationship people.
Yeah.
Like you just, like those people who are constantly always in something very serious. Where do you think you fall?
I think I am in a healthy middle ground of that. I've had like a couple serious relationships, and I think like the time between them varies. You know, so it's not like you need to be in something serious, but I would suggest that I am like a relationship person. I'm not like striving to be single for.
You just prefer that.
I prefer being in relationships because I think it's more real. You get to know people better, and you know, I think like at one point in my life I do want to like have a family and like have kids and everything. So you know, you have to take that leap at certain points, and if you're, you know, choosing the right people to date, like you might have the opportunity with any person that comes across, you know, your Hinge or whoever is introduced to you. So I would say that I'm in between because I've had plenty of stretches where I'm single.
So you're like, you feel comfortable by yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. What about yourself?
I am definitely one of those chronically single people, but not for. And when I say that, I don't know. I feel like you have to be careful when you say that, because I think most of it was by choice. I think
that's how it should be, right?
You know, and I think a lot of it was also just. I think for a long time when I was, you know, in high school and stuff, I really wasn't sure of like who I was or whatever, and I just like wasn't confident with any of that. And then I went to college, and I think I just like wanted to like run around and do whatever I wanted to, you know what I mean, like with my friends and whatever. And then I also just like hustled for a long time too with like my career and stuff, especially during like COVID. Like I worked during COVID. I was very busy. Yeah, it was horrifying.
Oh my God.
It was horrifying, but that was like my love, is my work. And that was great, you know, and it still is, but I think I got to the point where I actually didn't have my first boyfriend until the year after I graduated college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, here we are, I guess.
Yeah, and then, you know, we were together for like, it was almost like 3 years. And I also just, part of it too is like, I'm not interested in being with someone who I'm like, I kind of like that.
Yeah, on the fence.
You know, like to have someone who's just like constantly there. I don't need that. Don't want that. I don't need that. I never have needed or wanted it. So it's like, and I feel like when you're younger, sometimes relationships can like kind of be like that. You just like have someone to talk to and rely on like that. And I was like, I just want to do what I want to do. And then I got a little bit older, and I was like, you know, finally met someone I like really enjoyed and learned so much from it. And then I've been single for coming up on a year. Everyone
talks about red flags, right? So what would you say is something that you would be looking at a person and be like, that is a green flag all the way?
Right off the bat, I love when people don't think they're too cool for something. You know,
it's harder than it looks.
It's very hard. It's very hard, and I think sometimes I don't like have a hard time like dating. Like I could go like whatever, you know, like that's fine. But I think a lot of people are so worried innately about how they're viewed by others, and it just like totally kills the vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like the kind of person. Like, I love to dance. I'm so bad at it. Yeah, I'm not good at it, but I love to dance. I love to, like, I could be the only one in a bar with my friends and, like, just be dancing the whole time until, like, 3 o'clock in the morning. Just absolutely have a great time. When someone's, like, comfortable with themselves, and you can, like, tell that, I feel like, just when you meet them.
Take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, like relax. Like it's okay. Like if somebody thinks that you look stupid, like it's fine. You're never gonna see them again.
And also, is it their problem? Is it yours?
It's your problem. Like that you think that or that you care about that.
Exactly.
You know? Another one, like a big thing for me too, is like how they are a friend. Like how they show up at to their friends or with their friends. And I feel like when I meet someone and they're like, I may not have like 20 million friends, but I have a close group of like 5 friends that I'm very close with, that I tell everything, that I support, whatever show up for, and they're like family. Like that is so attractive to me, you know, because it's like, when you show up like that for other people like that, like your friends, like how are you going to show up for your partner?
Yeah.
You know, probably very similarly. And it shows that you're able to have like deep like connections with people, and it doesn't have to be romantic all the time.
Those are 2 really good things, I would say. Yeah, I would say for me...
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's cliche, but how you treat like wait staff and people that you know, that are actually serving you in whatever way that may pop up, but you know, tipping well and making sure you're being respectful. And a lot of times if you're not getting things on time or whatever, it's not their fault. It's some other chain of events that is happening. So just treating people like people, regardless of whether they're at their job or not, I think is a really big thing. Another thing is just like how they are with their family as well, much like friends. I think family is a very complicated thing. But you know, these people are related to you by blood. There's obviously different circumstances for everything, but making sure that, you know, watching their relationship with someone that is like very close with them if it's not their family. So whether it's their friends, their siblings, cousins, whoever that may be. And then I think just being spontaneous in some ways. Like I find myself not being as spontaneous as I could be.
What does that mean to you though? Because I feel like a lot of people say that, like, I enjoy being spontaneous, or I want to find someone who's spontaneous and whatever, and that's cool, right? And that's great, but in what context? Because you have to, I always think about like, what is the reality of that, right? Because you have your day-to-day stuff.
I don't think it can be like rash, you know? I think there's a difference between rash and being spontaneous. Rash, you know, you're just making decisions here, there, not really thinking about the consequences. I think spontaneity is more so about like something that you could do, but most people do not do. And you know, much like dancing at the bar with everyone looking at you, you know, something that's not going to have these crazy consequences that may hurt you down the line, but you know, if you have an opportunity, you tend to say yes, and you tend to kind of try to mobilize the people that you're with, and you know, experience all there is to experience.
Why do you think you haven't been as?
I don't think I've been risk averse for a lot of my life. I make decisions. I'm very decisive.
Okay.
So if I'm like, I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to do it.
Really? Yes. It's hard to change your mind.
It's hard to change my mind. Oh, well, it's hard to change my mind. Like I try. I'm having like this push and pull with myself to try and go and do that thing. But you know, if I'm like, okay, I have a feeling I shouldn't do this, I tend to not do it. So that's not always the way that the life needs to happen. So being able to kind of pull me a little bit and stretch me, it feels really good. I think that's a green flag, and I think more people could learn from that.
Do you think you're a person that people come to for advice?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Do you feel like you fell into that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Like, I don't know why you're doing this.
Yes, no, I think space for people to listen or for people to talk and for other people to listen is not something that we find a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be in a position where they're just ready to respond instead of actually listening to it. And you know, I think I tend to listen very well, but I also am very straightforward. And I'm like, it might not be what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you what I think you need to hear.
You call a spade a spade.
Spade a spade. I would say I'm kind, not nice, because sometimes.
Oh wait, I love.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's like abrasive. And you know, it shocks your system a little bit. It's not what you want to hear, but it's what like you would want a friend to say to you. And it kind of like, you know, I'm looking out for your general well-being, even if that means I'm hurting your feelings, like, you know, in the short term. Not to say I'm like an asshole or anything.
Well, that's like some people, I'm
just like, okay, like, you know who I am, you trust me, right? Like, let's lock in for a second and like, let's actually think about this. And, you know, everyone gets to make their own decisions, but more than happy to give my 2 cents and try and help people navigate this, because this shit's crazy. Like, life is so wild. Like, we're here right now.
Yeah, seriously. No, I love that. I always say that the like kind but not nice thing, because I always describe, I'm like, because of where I'm from, like being from Jersey, like New York area, I'm like, we're not nice, but we're very kind, you know, like, and there's some people who are like, I call it how it is, you know, but they're really just an asshole. Like, they're just a dick.
I know a lot of people like that.
And I'm like, you're just saying what you want to say without taking into consideration the things coming out of your mouth and like who you're saying it to. Like, no self-awareness in that, versus actually being able to look at different perspectives, create, you know, some sort of advice that you think is helpful, right? And then like giving that, but not beating around the bush or sprinkling anything on it. Like, it is what it is. You know, I feel like I'm the same exact way.
There needs to be more of us.
No,
right?
I know.
The show is called FLIRT. Flirting, I think, is something that comes natural to some people. Other people really struggle with it. But I don't know if anyone can necessarily define flirting. So what is flirting to you?
I feel like it can mean a lot of things, and it's not always just to attract someone romantically. But I feel like some people are just innately like very flirtatious without meaning to.
But what does that mean? What is innately flirtatious?
Like having an energy of attraction.
Okay.
Someone is just, you're like, I don't know why, I just want to always talk, like I want to talk to them. Yeah, it's like that. But you can also be like flirting with a bad thing, right? Like, you know, like the saying, like flirting with death or something, like flirting with, you know, like it could be, you're just like attracting something, I think.
That's interesting, yeah.
And it could be in different contexts. I feel like it does different things for a person.
Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective to have on it,
In this context though, right, it's like, oh, I'm like with a person that I like, so I like want to create this energy or put it out, right, that attracts them to me. So I feel like that's probably what that means to me if I were to have to put it in a, you know, put a definition on it. What do you think flirting is? And Ari, do you think you're good at it?
There is some sort of intention there, but it's not necessarily about what you're intending to do, it's how you're intending to come across to the other person. And like trying to almost read them and see how they're going to respond to who you are.
And you feel like you're pretty good at that?
Yeah.
I would agree.